Hey kids, January 27th, 2011, and we're going to talk about H.R. 423, which is going to be called, which is called the MAP Act, or Member Address Privacy and Protection Act. The bill's not out from the government printing office yet, but I think the press release from Congressman Joe Baca's office pretty much spells it all. Says here, the MAP Act amends the Help America Vote Act of 2002 to ensure that the private residence information of members of Congress can only be accessed by certified state election officials in state voter registration lists, and gives members of Congress the ability to keep their home address private when disclosing public office candidacy forms. And if you read further through the press release, this is also in direct relation to the tragedy in Tucson. But basically what this does is that it does two things. First thing it does is voter registration lists are public information. And what this bill would do is if you're an elected official, whether it's a representative or a senator, you will be able to have your name and address stricken from the public list that the average American person would have access to. The other thing it does is that when they go to file their public candidacy forms, instead of filling out all the pertinent information like name, address, county, state, do you hereby swear that you live and reside in this place, blah, 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 they'll be able to just sign an affidavit with the chief of state election official, and that's going to be good enough. And there's a couple of things with this. There's a lot of problems with this actually. Number one, where do I even start? Number one, first of all, I believe if you are elected to office, you shouldn't be given any special privileges in terms of privacy or not. You're an elected official. Granted, 99% of the people will not even bother going through a voter registration roll. Most people don't even know how to read them. I do. I did the Ron Paul thing, and I did the campaign work for Dr. Saber in New Jersey when he was running for Senate. But most people, won't go through the list. And you have to buy them, at least in New Jersey. I don't know if anywhere else, but in New Jersey you have to buy them. And they can only charge you like what it costs to do it or whatever, but you still have to buy them, unless you get it through your party. But anyway, the information is public, and I'm not saying that your information as an elected official should be made more prominently public than your neighbor. However, you shouldn't have the ability to mask your residency if someone actually is curious enough to look through the voter rolls to find out where you live. I don't think you should have that right. You're not special, you're just an elected official. The second problem is members of Congress signing an affidavit with the chief state election official. You're elected to Congress. A lot of these guys end up buying a condo or renting down in D.C. Some of these people who are elected to office, they start in one house, and then what they'll do is they'll maintain that address and they'll rent the house out or whatever, but they'll buy another house somewhere else and use that as their full-time residence. That alone is a charade in and of itself, but now this ability to sign an affidavit, it doesn't even allow the chief state election official to actually verify you're living where you say you're living. So you can theoretically have someone running for one district who owns a house in that district but doesn't live there, who may own a house in the neighboring district because it's a nicer neighborhood, it's a quieter neighborhood, it's got better police patrolling or whatever, and there's no real-time way to verify that as fact. And that, in my opinion, is also wrong. The third problem I have with it is it only provides protection for people who are actually already elected officials of Congress. So if you're the representative for my district and I decide to run against you, you're awarded these protections, if you want to call it that. But me, as the challenger that's running against you for your seat, I'm not awarded the same level of protections. Or at least not based on what this guy's press release is saying. So, I do find it funny, though, that these guys not only are trying to attack your Second Amendment rights and take your guns away, but they've actually are so scared now they feel the need to try to erase and eradicate their private information out of the public view. And any 12-year-old that's got half a brain in their head that's very swift with a computer, they're going to find out your home address and your phone number anyway. So this is not going to do anything, because most people are not going to go to a voter registration list to find out where you live. They're going to go to the internet, and they can do it quicker and cheaper and free, and probably in 5 minutes. So until next time, peace. God bless you all. God bless the Republic. And when the bill gets released by the G.P.O, I'll link to it too.